Skyrim is by far one of the best RPGs out there that not only helped blossom this channel, but made gamers everywhere drop their jaws. Unfortunately, the truth is the game is over a decade old, and with so many mod-breaking changes coming, I'm sure there are a few gamers out there looking for their next home when it comes to the role-playing genre. To this, I say we take a fine, good look at Elden Ring. Now, I'm not saying anything most gamers don't know already, but Elden Ring truly is a wonderful world and a game for gamers like myself who appreciate detailed character customization, a large explorable world, and class building freedom. So we'll be analyzing and comparing these major staples of Skyrim and ranking just how Elden Ring matches up to the task of holding our hearts. Starting with the character customization, in Elden Ring you have the immediate choice of class build. Now, this is different in Skyrim as you play the game and either become the 100% well-rounded hero character known as the Dragonborn, or you'll specifically choose which skills and abilities you'll ignore to fit your playstyle. However, in Elden Ring, you are able to rebuild and respec your character into anything you choose, so the starting classes truly only reflect your early game experience, and since the stats can be changed, you can still get the satisfaction of a unique build. Now, when it comes to cosmetics, of course the two games don't share race types, so in Elden Ring, you won't be making any hybrid lizard or cat people, but this hasn't stopped different players from mixing and matching gear and features to create various pop culture icons in game. I mean, it's actually pretty amazing to see celebrity lookalikes or even a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle taking down the various demigods of the game. And to be honest, if we were rating them, aside from the different races Skyrim has, I would say that Elden Ring is far more detailed. Moving on to the explorable world, Elden Ring takes place in the Lands Between, a land of fascinating soldiers and enemies plagued by dystopian rulers. Unlike Skyrim, there isn't much of a civilization to interact with, but considering the actual base story environment, it's understood that there aren't flourishing towns to explore and homes to buy. But in the sense of adventure and exploration, it still hits the mark. From traveling to distant locations you see across the map on the horizon to enjoying the variety of landscapes right in front of you, Elden Ring feels breathable and mysterious. The game of course lacks the witty dialogue of Skyrim's guards, but it still has its standard enforcers scattered about. But what I love is the amazing mythical creatures and beasts you encounter. There are so many varying types of small to large creatures ranging from goats to cursed knights to giant crabs, dragons, and, well, giants of course. Which is funny because now that I say that out loud, they also exist in the world of the Elder Scrolls. That's gotta be a new metric for rating these RPGs now. Okay, sure the PvP is amazing, but does it have giant crabs? The one thing I know I can always count on with Elden Ring is coming across a creature that must have a side job as nightmare fuel. I mean, some of these beasts and humanoids are so vile it's almost tragic. Much like Skyrim though, a lot of the more general enemies will be different based on the locations you explore. I believe this is where we find that balance of lacking friendly NPC dialogue. Sure, it doesn't have any busy cities full of talking NPCs, but it does have monsters and many of them. Not only that, but they have varying degrees of difficulty, so you'll just be hacking and slashing your way into depression as you get destroyed over and over again. But when you win, you win. Oh my god, I beat her! And I died! What, bro? Oh my god, it counted it! Oh my god, it counted it! Now, lastly, we'll visit the thing that made me truly favor the game and the freedom within your class build. Like I mentioned earlier, you'll start with whichever pre-made character, but whether you continue that path, the obvious route, or add your own flair, Elden Ring makes character building so much fun with a variety of weapons, sorceries, incantations, and armor. There are so many weapons in Elden Ring, you could play the game 5 times and it'd be different because you changed your stats simply to try a new specific weapon, but then altered those slightly because you came across another weapon that, had similar combination of stats, but a little different. On top of the base weapons themselves, you can also add these things called Ashes of War, which are similar to enchantments that can add special abilities to your weapon, and even those have alterations themselves that exist, thus sending you further down the building rabbit hole. On the magic side of things in Skyrim, we have the 5 schools of magic, while in Elden Ring, we have first sorceries and incantations. Sorceries requiring a staff, and incantations are done by hand with a little item. Then under those, we have the variety of general magic categories such as holy, general magic, and such, and then you have your elemental based attacks and defenses as well. And then as a bonus point, if you're in the modding space, the general theme and idea around the modding of the game has a similar direction to Skyrim, such as the obvious cosmetics, to the adding of spells and weapons. Now, I know the game has been very explored at this point, but with Skyrim making so many changes, and if the internet has taught me anything, it's that none of your ideas or thoughts are original, and personally, at times, I struggle finding a new game because almost nothing mimics the freedom I feel with Skyrim. When playing some RPGs and analyzing their customization, sometimes I ask myself, in this game, could I roleplay as both Zeus and an unarmed drunken brawler? Two opposite sides of the scale, but both very possible in both of these games. Because a good RPG doesn't just throw you into a pre-existing world and story, but it allows you to engage in the decisions that mold the character and the world you play in. So if you're out there and you love Skyrim, I know you've probably already played it, but maybe give Elden Ring a new revisit or see it in a new light, because we're never getting Elder Scrolls 6 and Skyrim's going downhill. Much love, as always. Be safe out there.